Labour has been accusing National of being anti-treaty. I really hope this is not going to be one of their main election talking points. I wish Labour was anti-treaty. The treaty is stupid and has no future. Secretly, everyone knows that. But nobody wants to admit it. The Liberals won't admit it because they have crippling white guilt. They have nightmares about being called racist. Powerful Maori won't admit it because obviously they think that they stand to benefit from the treaty, which they do. But the treaty has no future. It is just a matter of who will grow a spine and get rid of it for good. It is an archaic agreement from a bygone era. There is no virtue in forcing our radically different society into the confines of a 19th century treaty. That is utter madness. Ripping our society in two will not right historic wrongs, and it will not satiate your crippling white guilt. The treaty should have been honoured from the outset, but it wasn't. And now we find ourselves in a society that is radically different to the one in which the treaty was signed. Forcing our society into the confines of such an agreement is neither practical or desirable. It would cause momentous division at a time when national unity is more important than ever. We are a small, weak country in an increasingly dangerous world. We cannot afford to be divided among ourselves. And that is what the treaty demands. It is nothing but a force of racial division. It came from a time when separate governments existed and could have continued to exist. It came from a time when co-governance was possible. But it is far too archaic to be forced onto our radically different 21st century society. Our highly integrated society. The concept of honouring it is utter madness. It would require us to rip our society in two to force it into the confines of an archaic agreement. The logical conclusion of such a position is the insane racist policy that is advocated by the Maori Party. I reject that, everyone rejects that. But still the white guilt-riddled clowns will pretend to be serious about honouring the treaty. Just grow a spine and admit that it is a lost cause. The government should accept responsibility, acknowledge the historic wrongs, compensate anyone who hasn't already been compensated, and give Maori a chance to sign a new treaty. A treaty that works towards integration and eliminating inequalities, not pointless racial division. The Treaty of Waitangi is a lost cause. Our politicians have to accept that. They need to grow up. It is time for the national debate to move on. Are we still going to be debating this in 100 years? What fool thinks we should reintroduce the treaty and be governed by it for an eternity? No thanks. We are not the slaves of an outdated document that was drafted and signed by long-dead men. That cannot be the fate of this nation. ACT is anti-treaty in substance. Their treaty principles bill essentially tries to nullify the treaty by redefining it. That may be a noble pursuit, but being ACT, they pursue it in the most morally questionable way. This sleazy attempt at interpreting an historical agreement out of existence by having it redefined by popular vote. That is a very sleazy and unethical way of pursuing this outcome. It is also spineless and pathetic. Just admit the treaty has no future and be done with it. There is no need for these sleazy, dishonest tracks. The treaty debate has poisoned this country's politics. Every party has a stupid position on this issue. Our national debate needs to move on. We should be debating more serious things. We should be talking about a New Zealand constitution. We should be talking about greater independence. We should be talking about scrapping the monarchy. We should be talking about radical pro-worker policy. Instead, we are endlessly rehashing this stupid debate.